If we're talking about electrification and the new technologies that come online, there's going to be brand new ways of doing things that we've probably never ever seen before. And we need to ensure that the people that come into our industry are trained to the highest level. And the apprenticeship program absolutely delivers us that. It gives us a structured, high quality training program delivered by some of the biggest global brands around the place to deliver that really high quality skilled training. So apprenticeships will absolutely be at the forefront of change and technology as we start to see more and more of these electric vehicles come online. And I think not only will we start to see electric vehicles, we'll also see some other alternative power solutions coming online as well. So the technology will just grow exponentially. So it's massively exciting.
If we look at this next slide, you can see that in all of these areas in life, this is going to contribute to our overall feeling of well-being. It's never as a result of one single thing. We can absolutely have that aspect that gives us that buzz on that day or any given time, but the health of our mind can impact massively with the way in which we choose to and manage how we lead our life. Your well-being is fundamental to what you will do in life. And I think it's important to recognise that whilst these are intrinsically linked to your mental health, your capacity to keep well and to function is highly unlikely will be that we're going to be winning at any one of or all of these at any one time. And I guess this is whilst we look for the idea of life satisfaction, and that it comes from these factors, it's got to be with the understanding that this is about balance and excuse me, and that it's under control. You can achieve a perfectly lovely equilibrium of really good balance, even if these things are not all in one place at any one time. When you think about your mental health, it's quite useful to consider it as a spectrum. It's a range that transitions in stages. Ultimately, we are at our best when we are healthy, this one over here. I've tried to underline it. There you go. That's my attempt at a bit of a squiggle. That's optimally where we want to be. But actually, sometimes things can be a bit tough, a bit meh, and we move to a coping phase, which is absolutely fine. And that's the second one on this spectrum. When we are in this stage, we are looking to adopt strategies to help ourselves. And, whether it's a hobby or socializing or following a routine, having a plan, getting good sleep, exercising, eating well, whatever that might be, it means that we are keeping going, that we are coping with what is going on around us and for us as a result of the strategies that we've put into place. I guess if we then move to the struggling phase and these strategies aren't working, it should in essence ring a bell and for there to be some recognition that things are different and that the capacity you had to cope and manage in those situations that were a bit tough isn't there at the minute. It's not to say that it won't come back, it's just not there right now. And at that point, it's probably time to reach out and ask for help or more help if need be. What we can tend to do as a society, however, unfortunately, is wait. We wait, we sit in it, we feel it, we experience it without always applying coping strategies, without always reaching out, without using the techniques that could help us. We certainly don't talk about it. We don't do things differently to try and bring about change. That is often where we then end up unwell and in crisis. And at that point, we are working back to in recovery rather than using preventative or emerging strategies to make sure that we can keep things at bay. What are some of the signs and symptoms to look out for? Well, they're not exhaustive, but they include what I've written here: the lack of motivation, absence from work or persistent absence from work, being unable to concentrate, being bad-tempered. We all get a bit moody every now and again, but if you're finding yourself persistently in that state, it could be that something else is transpiring. Overwhelming emotions. I mean, I pretty much cry at everything. So, for me, that isn't an indicator. But if I find myself being overwhelmed with how I feel all of the time, then that balance that we talked about earlier might be missing. And therefore, I might need to consider what else that could be about. Constantly feeling tired, prolonged increased heart rate, rapid heart rate. Look out for these changes. These are just some of the things that you might see or feel, but they're no means exhaustive. But think about your stress as water filling up a bucket. If we have nowhere to release the water, what do we end up with? It's not a trick question. I'm sure you're all thinking the same thing. And you can see from this diagram that actually the bucket potentially is going to overflow. If an overflowing bucket is going to get messy, it's going to cause a bit of a clean up at best. But if we now think about that in terms of our stress, unless we find a release, an outlet, a tap, we're going to do, in principle, exactly the same thing, or it's going to do the same thing to us. It's going to overflow. It's going to become too much, and we're going to become overwhelmed by it, and it becomes unmanageable. What we need to try and think about is this idea that we use the helpful coping strategies, which is where the tap exits, lets the water out, rather than allowing unhelpful strategies but overwhelm us and mean that we don't, in essence, do what we need to do for ourselves. These are some of the strategies that I have mentioned. This is the first one. It's called stop. It's about actually in that moment, rather than being reactive, rather than being impulsive, about taking the time to step back, breathe, observe the situation that's going on around you, practice what it is you know that works for you. Where anxiety and depression is prevalent, what we can tend to do is rely on avoidance, and actually, you know, avoidance solved nothing anytime ever in the most part. So, you know, don't consider how you can withdraw from it, but actually how you can engage in it and manage it.
Okay, so Ben is a dedicated charity to the automotive industry, founded in 1905 by a gentleman called A.J. Wilson, who worked for Dunlop Tyres at the time. And this was way before the welfare state. So people that were working in the industry could actually access financial support when they hit on hard times or actual hardship. Today, Ben provides care services, runs a retirement village, and delivers health and wellbeing services for those that have worked in or still work in the automotive industry, including apprentices, as well as their family dependents. And it's this part of Ben, our health and wellbeing delivery, that I really want to focus on as part of the webinar. I'd really like to give you a whistle-stop tour of our health and wellbeing services that we deliver. Our mission in delivering these services is to ensure that those with an automotive connection know that we're here for them, that we seek to make positive changes to the lives of those people that reach out to us. And actually, we want to enhance the health and wellbeing of those that work or have worked in the industry to enable them to think well, feel well, and live well. And for those that currently work in the industry to work well too. So just moving on to how we provide our support, we deliver our support in 5 main ways: online, through our website, via our helpline, through our support and specialist services, as well as delivering training. Online support, as I said, is delivered via our website, providing a broad range of self-help content. The slide gives you an overview of some of the pieces of content that we make available. It's free and readily available for anyone. And people can also sign up to receive tips, advice and tools straight to their inbox through signing up via their email. We're continuously refreshing content with the most edition shining a light on the importance of good nutrition and hydration, with very much a focus on food and mood. Our helpline operates from 8 AM to 8 PM, Monday to Friday, managing inquiries via web chat, telephone and via also email, offering information, advice and guidance, managing crisis calls and administering what we call urgent need grants, which might be used to support individuals that can't afford to pay for food, utility bills, or at risk of becoming homeless, or potentially might be fleeing an unsafe situation such as domestic violence. Ben Support Service has dedicated case managers who assess and manage cases. They also offer information, advice and guidance, as well as the administration of other financial grants, including welfare, exceptional circumstance and special consideration grants. Case managers are highly skilled in benefits counselling, money management and what we call financial literacy, supporting people to better manage their finances in the short, medium and long term. Our specialist services host what we call our mental health pathway, providing a range of different health and wellbeing mental health ways in which people can receive support, including access to self-help resources, as well as our digital platform, SilverCloud. SilverCloud provides computerised cognitive behavioural therapy, and individuals can access a range of programmes, as you can see outlined also on the slide, which are around 12 weeks in duration, via what we call an unsupported or supported route. So the supported route may well be where we have a mental health supporter that's sitting behind the platform, just providing some light touch case management to help an individual through the programme. We have some really easy ways for people to access the digital platform, so they can actually come to the helpline and we will signpost and get them set up and signed up. But actually we can also have fast track access through people registering on the website directly. Silvercloud helps individuals to identify how their thoughts, feelings affect the way that they're behaving, and so it really plays very neatly to what Jill was talking about earlier around our thoughts and our mood and how this then interacts with what we do, and very much part of what Silvercloud is designed to do is to help people to develop coping strategies, and those very helpful coping strategies to make positive change. And the great news for apprentices is that we're introducing Silvercloud for young people very soon. So whilst apprentices can currently access Silvercloud now, the young people version of Silvercloud is tailored to a younger audience and uses more relatable case studies, language and actual coping strategies within each programme. Ben also can provide telephone and face-to-face counselling, talking therapies and other specialist interventions for trauma, relationship and family therapy. And we also deliver life coaching, so a 6 to 8 week telephone-based programme for individuals wishing to make a change in their life, or maybe supporting somebody through a period of change or uncertainty. And more often than that, we do support a lot of people that are just feeling a little bit stuck and not really sure where to go, and what they know that they want to make some changes, but they're not sure what that looks like. So our life coaches will work through a process of identifying what sort of change it is the person is looking to make, and coach and guide them through that change. It's a fantastic service, and we have absolutely great and remarkable results for people that go through the service itself. Finally, we also deliver training, which is a paid for service for employers, ordinarily delivered face-to-face, but we're now in a position to deliver that virtually. We've been developing shorter, more focused and practical resilience workshops, which you can also see highlighted on the slide. And we've chosen topic areas based on what people are coming to see us for at Helpline through our support specialist services, but also what people are searching for online.